Hello, everyone, and welcome to this free Pick a Card weekly reading. This is for the week of May 10th of 2020. So our Sabian symbol for this week, which feels good to be getting back with the symbols again. We've been taking a energetic break, I think, in terms of my work with them. But they're coming on back, and what's interesting is, just as with the tarot, I'm finding myself interpreting a little differently than I think certainly the traditional meaning of either cards or symbols has been. But even I had my own interpretation, of course, as a reader, and I'm finding it's shifting even more now. Like it's going in a whole other direction. So our symbol for this week is from the ever loving, achieving sense of Capricorn, that energy of Capricorn. Capricorn 10, an albatross feeding from the hand of a sailor. Now, I don't know about you, but I have never seen an albatross, so I wanted to look it up, so I did. Did you know their wingspan is like a max of about 12 feet? Can you even imagine what that would be like? To be a human being with some kind of food in your hand, holding out for this enormous bird to feed from your hand. Can you even imagine that? I was like, 12, that can't be right. That's got to be really 12 feet. That means essentially it's as if each wing is like 6 feet long. I mean, that's enormous. I just was really overcome by that. And then, of course, me being me, I looked up the spiritual meaning of albatross. And there's such a feeling with this bird. Again, I've never seen one, but it's connecting with all of us for a reason this week. It's a feeling of grace, of tying back into your natural rhythm of, in any moment, you can choose grace. And I know that word is kind of maybe not fully understood by all of us, but grace really means that we flow through our life and we see the purpose in things. And to me, it's kind of an energy of knowing that everything is working out for our path, for our best and highest good. It's a feeling that all is right with the world. Grace is nothing having to do with fear or anxiety. It is knowing that we are also this bird, the spiritual meaning, very capable. And there's a certain, the word stamina came up several times in what I was reading. And so it's like our own sense of being able to tap into this sense of grace as actually being the greatest source of our inspiration and our stamina, our ability to get through things. And with this symbol, an albatross feeding from the hand of a sailor, from my book that I love, An Astrological Mandala by Dane Rudyard, the keynotes sort of messages around this is overcoming fear and the rewards of doing so, and generating trust. Can you I really want you to picture this just enormous bird. It's like the elephant of the birds. It's huge. And this overcoming of fear feels like a very big theme for this week, and I'm not really wanting to get into talking about the virus and all of that stuff. I'm just focused on you here right now. And I really want you to tap into this albatross energy, whatever that means for you. And the card is going to be a message from the albatross. If you will be brave enough, you're the sailor. The sailor is out there woo, riding the seas. Sometimes we're way up, and sometimes we're down in the gully, and sometimes we're in the middle of a perfect storm. It is not an easy life being a sailor, and all of us are sailors in our own lives. We are riding these waves. And the waves, water, the element of water, indicates our emotions. You have to know when you're being taken on a ride by your own emotions, or are you choosing to be at the helm of the ship, take control in your own sphere. This is just your own sphere of control here. Pull back from looking at out in the distance and what you can see, and these other boats are calling in like, did you see this? And we're only going this number of knots, and this boat is on, possibly going to capsize, and there's all this on a boat. I want you to imagine yourself on a boat this week. There's all kinds of chatter coming in over the radio. Maybe some of your shipmates, the other sailors, are not feeling good or not feeling on the top of their game. Maybe some of them are injured because these are high seas. These are high seas that we're in. We can say that much for sure. But I want to keep bringing it back to you. Our greatest power is in how we determine how we're going to use our own energy, and especially emotional energy. Because emotional energy really starts to ripple out into your whole energy field, and you're vibrating it out there. And like it or not, a law of the universe is what you're vibrating out there brings more of that to you. I don't know any other more plain way to say it than that. And we learn through the School of Hard Knocks that this is really true. If we're so focused on the chatter going on the radio signals of your boat that you happen to be on with a bunch of other people, if you're so focused on that, and instead of being focused on, okay, so, whatever, if this is a fishing vessel, let's say, where are we going to go fish? We're going to make a plan for the next hour or the next day. We're going to journey. We're going to have a focus, or are you listening to the chatter and more paying attention to all these other boats or what you might see or not see out there in the wider sphere? Because on the ocean, there's a lot of mist. You can't necessarily trust what you're seeing all the time. And so I just keep like, whoom, I'm kind of energetically, and I feel like the albatross for you personally listening to this. The albatross is offering you a point of focus. That's what your card or cards that you've chosen is going to offer, a point of focus. Because man, when you get an albatross feeding from your hand, you're not really paying attention to anything else, are you? And that's the point this week. It is your greatest power, if we can use that word. I'm not a big power hungry kind of a person, but I do believe in personal empowerment and what our energy, how it can best be used during these kind of, riding the crazy waves like a sailor / cowboy out there trying to get through every day and trying to make sense of things and trying to live our own lives, for the umpteenth day inside your own four walls. I just want to bring it back to you. As a messenger, that's where I'm coming from. And the albatross is so big, a 12-foot wingspan. I'm still so shocked around that. But this albatross can't help but get your attention. There's like no turning away from it. And think about that. If you were to experience that, this is kind of like, people who have experiences with nature that they will never forget. It's something that is like a once in a lifetime moment. or having a hummingbird be brave enough to land on your finger. I mean, I can't even imagine it. And the thing with the albatross is not going to come feed from your hand. And remember, albatross represents that inner grace of you, your ability to flow through life no matter what these, storms or high or low waves are, whatever patterns are going on. The albatross has enough power within you. It glides. Can you imagine the glide power of a 12-foot wingspan when it's up and it's way up above all of this? That's the energy. It wants to take you for a beautiful, soft, gentle ride this week. But the albatross can't even come to you. That energy, okay, of this bird cannot feel safe enough, even though it's huge. It probably could eat your hand for lunch, It can't even come to you. No different than a hummingbird. It's all the same. The wild in general, the wild within us cannot even come unless there is a sense of calm within us, a sense of grace within us. The albatross demands it. Grace and stamina and capability, and the ability to overcome fear so that the reward is this type of interaction that is just, it's a memory of a lifetime. Okay, like it's that big. It can be that big. And of course, those of you who have been following me for a long time, I love telling these stories, and it's up to you to relate it into your life. It's what I've found, these sort of analogies, to be the best way for us to get our heads around what this energy is. The key is finding that grace enough to experience this wonder of nature that is within you. It is your true divine nature within you. That is grace, no matter the size of the waves or the chatter on the radio or what anybody else on the boat is doing. Or if the captain is losing their mind because they can't figure out where to go. You can be that calmness in the storm. And I want that just for you. I just want it for you because one by one, this is our individual power, and I will always point people back to that in my readings. It's not a selfish thing. You're doing your stewardship work. You're investing the time in caring about your own use of your energy and the maintenance of your energy field, which is enormous. And what that does is to bring equally graceful energy that has stamina to it, that has capability, that has empowerment, that has just this inner grace to it. That is natural for you. When I talk about the wild within, that's your natural self that we so often deny. Okay, so that's my intro for this reading. So the messages I'm getting very clearly are from this albatross. Once you make the decision, and this is up to you, that I'm going to be calm enough and in the moment and focused on what I can do in this moment, not what I can't and not what could be or not what has been. The albatross is going to make you pay attention to this moment because it is something that is a wonder of beauty and just the best of nature. The best nature has to deliver. Your nature, okay? Your inner nature. So let's get going on what the messages are, okay, from this albatross. Once you're in a place energetically where that bird, that energy, feels safe enough that the bird has to trust you, your own sense of grace and stamina and capability. It has to trust that you're really ready to work with it. Okay, that's what it all comes down to. What is it that you're exuding out there? I want you to care. I want you to care what you're putting out there, because I don't want more of this very disempowering kind of energies that are swirling when you're out there on the boat and going woo, and people are getting sick and the radio's going off and there's a boat capsizing and look at those, whatever, 12-foot seas out there or something. People are looking way out here or back there, or, there's a lot to look at. There's a lot to take in. And again, I just want to get you focused on you. And I really highly encourage you to care. It's your energy. The albatross is here for you, for you. It wants to connect with you and connect you back to the wonder of your own capability, your own sense of grace and flow in life. And things are going well for me if I can focus in my own sphere, literally, your energy sphere. It is real. If I ever met you in person, I can literally measure it with my dowsing rods. I can show you what your energy field looks like. And you need to care enough about that sphere of influence to care what the heck is swirling in there, because it affects the ripples you're sending out into the world as one individual, but very powerful being. It matters. It matters is what I've got to say. And you are the steward of it. There's nobody else that is the steward of your energy field. So decide. And this albatross is helping to focus you, okay? So those of you that chose card number 1, this is from the Flower Therapy deck. Family Harmony, chrysanthemum. I always think of chrysanthemums as being so sturdy and so intricate. Look at the gorgeous color, my fave. It's beautiful poppy kind of hot pink with some magenta in there. I love it, love it. Love how the light from my room is sort of reflecting there. This says, your loved ones form a strong pillar of support. Embrace their love and put past issues behind you. And when I tap into this Family Harmony card from the perspective of the albatross, the one with the 12-foot wingspan, what I get is harmony is generated within you energetically when you decide to look at everything that is going on in your life as being a support to you, as being either love showing itself to you, the emotion of love and connection, either showing it to you because it is, or it's a call to love whatever is coming. But most of all, what I'm seeing is I'm really caught on that word pillar, a strong pillar of support. And what I'm seeing is from actually ancient Greece. Those who picked this card, you've got very strong ties to ancient Greece. I feel that. This is a general reading, so I know this is for a lot of different people, but that's the energy that all of you who picked this is bringing through me, okay? And I'm seeing, the Greeks with their architecture, a big thing with them was the columns, right? And the different types of scrolls and forms that they created at the top and the bottom of the pillars. And don't quote me on this. I'm just trying to bring up something from my own education in the past. Is there's many, many different kinds, and each of them has a meaning. And so when I say strong pillars of support, it is like you are in, is it called the Parthenon? Oh my gosh, I hope I'm not way off on that. Anyway, these structures that are still somewhat standing today, it's that level of sturdiness we're talking about. Talk about stamina. Holy smokes. And that part of you, I don't know if you're a believer in past lives, okay? But there's a thread of this ancient Greece lifetime or lifetimes. As a messenger, I am a person that believes that we do reincarnate, and we gather our experience and kind of our wisdom over several lifetimes, both here on this planet, well, many lifetimes on this planet, but also other places we can choose to be, other star systems and such. So without getting too deep into that rabbit hole, what I'm feeling, though, is this very strong tie to ancient Greece. I really am. This doesn't come through in my readings, especially general readings, very often. And just, if you will, to call that part of you forward, because that's the power of this time. We're all quiet enough. We have the ability to be quiet enough at this time. It's part of the gift that the albatross is wanting you to take advantage of, because you have to be quiet enough to even let the albatross come to you to feed from your hand, okay? And tap into that energy. Just, you don't have to do any visualization, or you don't have to do a past life regression or any of that stuff. It simply is saying, in a quiet moment when you're by yourself in a sacred place, or a place that just brings you happiness, within your home or outside, ask for that, the threads, the shining, gleaming threads from that particular lifetime to come forward for you. Because you want to talk about resilient and focused. And particularly, I'm just feeling this very strong connection to these pillars. And pillars, by their very design, the Greeks made them not only beautiful, but each one had meaning in how those accent details were added. And they took pride in that particular type of architecture, which then contributed to the rest of the world's architecture. And just think about it as a pillar. This is energy. It's energy we're talking about here that is meant to support the structure of your life. And as human beings, we will always need structure here in order to survive on this planet. We do need a form of income. We do need a house or a dwelling of some sort to live within. If we're going to keep our health and our to be our most vibrant self, okay? I'm talking highest timeline for you here, always in my readings. And so just think about that meaning of the pillar. It's meant to offer support for you to have lots of room to work within. Think about these Greek structures that still have these pillars still standing all this time later. It's because those pillars are helping to support this very big space for you to work within. That is the energy that the albatross is bringing forward for you. And it specifically is talking about an ancient Greek lifetime or lifetimes. There may be many. Okay, even within that, what we call ancient Greece. So just ask for those threads, the gleaming threads from that lifetime or lifetimes, to be activated within you. Everything is intention. That is directly tied into energy work. And that will bring you, it ignites within you a sense of resiliency, this stamina, and this very strong form of the pillars. And I don't want you either to lose sight of the fact that a big thing that I'm recalling is the different details, that the tops and the bottoms of these pillars were very detailed. And there was reasons why they would make them that way, that they would craft them that way. And so what that to me represents is that a part of your stamina, a part of your grace, is being able to honor all of those ways that you can bring stability into your experience. Okay, these pillars are yours to work with. They are the gleaming threads, okay? And there's different ways of going at different situations, different conversations, acknowledging and dealing with different emotions and thoughts that come up within you. They are part of your toolkit. And all of them are available. And certain ones are more effective with certain situations or people or feelings or thoughts than others. And you have to trust that you're going to know, like a master craftsman, which one you're going to pick. But all of this energy brings greater stability to you. That's what the albatross is delivering here. That's what I'm very strongly getting a sense of, okay? Wow. That's very rare. Okay, the second card is from the Magdalene Oracle. Miracles. Oh boy. Okay, so there we've got the Ankh. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that quite right, which I always feel is sort of the divine feminine energy, with the sun represented in the middle there, and then sort of wisdom, greater wisdom represented with the eye that's sort of gleaming down at the sun. I think that's an intermix of the two energies. And obviously all this taking place within a tree. And I just feel, I have a very strong elemental energy about me when I do any of my intuitive work, and a sense of very strong groundedness coming through as what the albatross wants to point you towards. But I'm going to sprinkle my magic fairy dust over you here, okay? Little sprinkling, because I think I think these seas, on the boat, like I talked about in the intro, I think the seas have been a long road for you. It's felt like, oh my God, I can't take one more day of this. And it's almost like I do think there is a phenomena on boats where you kind of like, you don't even know who or what or where you are anymore. There's a real, because you're on a boat. I mean, I've actually felt this on the one time I went on a cruise ship. I kind of like lost my grounding, and I'm a person that I really need that. So cruises are not my thing. And so I just get this sense of like, in the midst of all this, what the albatross is trying to say is that there's been just this dealing with the waves, dealing with the radio constantly going off, in the captain's deck there, and there being calls for help all the time, and it just seems like I hear energetically lots of like, bah, sort of this panicky energy, and kind of out of nowhere, like you'll try to get in your zone, get into a quiet, capable place, right? I feel that. And then something will go off that's like a firecracker. It's like somebody has thrown a firecracker at your feet. And meanwhile, you're just still on this boat, kind of riding these waves like this, like, okay, here's another day of this. Here's another day of this. And I just don't even know where we are anymore. Like, there's no sense of knowing where you are in that big ocean. And is there an ending or a beginning? Are we ever going back to the port? There's just a sense of like, there's no groundedness. And your soul, your inner self is craving that. It's craving some kind of a timeline, some kind of a solidity. That's what I feel, because the trees really got my attention on this. But what the albatross wants to bring forward is, and why I said the magic fairy dust, is your sense of wonder, your sense of imagination. Because what can be a really good thing when you don't have a lot of solidity, because we also can have too much solidity at times, and that's, I'm just offering to you, it can be a benefit of this time. The albatross is wanting you to employ your imagination of saying, I can make this day after day on the ocean. I can make this my own special adventure of sorts. It's like you have like poop, like shoo, like a fly, honestly, shoved away this sense of like the ability to imagine, you know, how you want things to be, how you want to use this time, the energy of any given day. Just take it day by day. Much like I want to get you right in this space right now. The sailor is being encouraged, the sailor, you, are being encouraged to never mind what's going on the radio. Never mind the firecrackers that keep going off. Instead, weave those in the endless waves, or maybe there's a day that's somewhat calm. Weave it all into your adventure, your daily adventure, your special journey. As I like to say recently, your walk down your magical path, and what do you meet along the way? It's bringing your imagination into it. And when we open up like that, again, I'm talking energy here, and I'm wanting to just deliver this to you through this sort of magic fairy dust, is just what that does for your energy field. When you unhitch your thought patterns out of, I need to have a timeline, I need to know what's happening today, and when is this going to happen, when are we going to pull into port, how are those people going to be helped over there that are screaming on the radio, when is this guy going to be told to stop throwing firecrackers at my feet, like all these things, like when I want to stick a date on it, I want to, and your whole energy field starts to like come in on itself. Your choices, your influence out there in the world, the ripples that you send out start to become truncated, and it literally pulls itself in. And we do this when we don't feel well physically to help protect us. But you're not in that place. I don't feel that here with you. The albatross is saying, no, you need to be your own miracle maker here. And I don't like using the word miracle. I'd rather you embrace your ability to be a dreamer, your ability to wonder. Maybe that's an even better word. Just wonder, like, how can I take the information that I am being given today, the things that I choose to notice, and how can I weave those into my own adventure? And knowing the albatross is going to continue to say to you, because of its grace energy and its stamina, that all of this is working in my favor. Will you be brave enough? Will you open up your energy enough? That's what allows the albatross to come. That's what allows the wonder to open up your energy field, and then you start to see just how many things are really, truly working in your favor. How much this time perhaps really needed to happen for you because you're getting clear on some things. Those are the everyday miracles of life. And there's the underscore for it. Okay? Ding, off goes my phone. Those are the kind of miracles that I'm talking about with all of this. It's if you'll be brave enough to open up your energy field enough to wonder. When is the last time that you actually had fun just kind of working with some information that you get along the course of your day to say, I wonder how that fits in on my path, my magical path. It's showing me things that are helping me get more clear, helping me become more of the person I really want to be, and knowing that's an ever evolving journey, and that I'm being led to the things and the people and the situations that I enjoy. What if that's what's happening? And how does everything play into that? It's a sense of wonder. And as you do it, what I'm saying with your energy, which is ever important, is that you're opening up again. And that's how things like miracles and meanwhile being grounded, you're not turning away from information that meets you along your path each day, but you're taking it and making your own meaning of it with very wide open, light-hearted, grace-filled eyes and mind. That's what the albatross wants for you, because that opening of the energy field gives you more room to wonder, gives more room for that universal energy to bring those like-minded situations and people and all of it onto your path. When you're truncated, it's really hard for the universe to reach you. Okay? I feel real opening with that. And to make it fun. This is like employing your inner child, like the version of you that's 3, 4, 5 years old, still very, very young, but able to articulate and able to wonder and have imagination at play. And it doesn't really matter if you think that that's silly. What I'm trying to get to is what that does for your energy field is miracle making. Who cares if it's silly? Nobody has the rights on how you choose to create and set definitions in your life. Nobody has any right to do that. Okay. The last card is from the Healing with the Fairies deck. And this is beauty, very simply put. And I feel such a simplicity with this card as I turned it over here. Everything, these cards generally are pretty colorful. And I feel with this card, everything is pretty black and white when it comes to beauty. You can very easily tell the things that this albatross is wanting to you to focus on. What is beauty and what isn't. And I'm going to let what isn't go. What is beautiful for me to focus on? Is it better for me to walk out in my flower gardens? Or is it better for me to take in yet another news segment on the TV? What is contributing to the energy of beauty? And Venus, the planet Venus, is coming in strongly here. And Venus has now, I believe, moved into the sign of Gemini and is going to be there for an extra long period of time because Venus is going to be going retrograde in Gemini. Okay, so your reading has a little bit of astrological influence to it. The albatross is hooked into Venus here. And this is really kind of, doesn't happen all the time that Venus is in. I think it's through, I want to say August, don't quote me on that, but it's like a few months, that Venus is hanging out in the sign of Gemini. And I want to talk to you about Gemini. We have very strong Gemini energy being lined up, and the sun around the 20th, 21st will be going into the sign of Gemini, so that illumines that energy within all of us, depending on where it is in your astrological chart. Gemini is an air sign, so it has to do with your thoughts and how you cognize things and how you choose to think about things, how you learn, how you listen, how you give output to others. and just generally how you choose to think about things. But the reason I really love Gemini is it's a very curious energy. It will look at things and situations or people, anything, and it will see, it will interpret lots of detail, and it can sift. It's very fast energy because it's ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication and cognition and learning, all of that. It's so fast moving at being, it's like you're panning for gold. Okay, that's what the albatross is giving me. You're panning for gold. You dig up, whatever the sediment, and you're just very quickly you're able to find the golden nuggets. That's the ability to find the beauty. And that's a very general term. What I'd like to point you to that might not have a lot of meaning and baggage associated with it when it comes to beauty, because we think of physical beauty, and that's not what this message is pointing to. It's what is uplifting to me, what makes me believe in like when you just have a magnificent moment in nature. I will never forget visiting Hanging Lake in Colorado. Ever, ever, ever. That was such a moment in my life that I still go back there in my mind. And this is the Gemini energy. It can take you there. And so if you're not finding a lot of those, it's very simple things that just strike you as like, wow, that's really beautiful. Another example I'll give just recently is I've really been hooked on digging up songs, or what's happening is they're coming across my path, and I just have to share them because I feel such a sense of this Venus energy, the beauty, the absolute exquisite nature of something. So they're typically love songs. I've got a real soft spot for beautiful, beautiful love songs. And so I put those up on Facebook because I want everybody, whether they love that song or not, I want them to feel the exquisite nature of what this artist is able to do. I'm really celebrating the beauty within that artist, like a fine craftsman. They so know how to do that. Or for those of you in the Northeast or right here in New Hampshire, like a beautiful piece of Simon Pierce glassware. That's beauty, because there's such, another way to think about beauty, okay, to help direct you, again, this is all coming from this albatross energy, is to think about that fine craftsmanship, is to think about somebody who has put so much of themselves into something, and it translates. When I listen to John Denver's Annie song, it translates. You don't have to be a lover of his music or anything, but the words and the way the chords are put together, he just blows me away with that song, and it says something about the beauty within him. Just like a beautiful piece for me of Simon Pierce glass, whatever it is. There is such a beautiful craftsmanship in the design, and that it was now my candle is sparking off just to get, like, this matters. This is a way for you to sniff your way like Gemini loves to do. You can easily pan out those pieces of gold, no problem. This is really fast energy that's being offered to you. And the albatross is trying to get you there. And just a way to think about it is, it doesn't have to be something that is necessarily what you'd call beautiful. It evokes within you like such an appreciation of the effort that someone put into something. I feel that way about the researchers behind my chemo compounds. You see, it brings up emotion because it's that beautiful. I will never see chemo as bad, ever. These people gave up their lives to develop those compounds. John Denver felt from a very deep place to create the lyrics behind any song because he just had an argument with his, I think it was his wife at that point, I'm not quite sure, Annie. He created out of that. Do you see this time of adversity? It's like we are arguing with ourselves and within ourselves and among everybody, and out of this can come incredible moments of beauty, incredible moments of craftsmanship in one form or another. And it doesn't have to be something physical. It could be a moment in nature. It could be something your child says to you that just is like, wow. Wow. You know, I had that example the other day with our son. He amazed me. You know, that's another good way to pick out beauty, is when it just, yeah, now I'm hearing the song about Baby You Amaze Me. I don't really, I think it's from Paul McCartney. What amazes you? And it's very simple. That's why I'm getting back to the black and white energy here. Venus really moves me. I'm sorry. Well, no, I don't apologize. This energy, Venus is just so magnificent. And you who picked this card are really getting a heavy dose of it. It's coming through. And you're going to have it for a few months, so use it. God damn it, use it. Use it to your advantage. So back to the black and white for just a minute, because this reading is getting really long, but the black and white is these moments, whatever it is, and believe me, beauty comes in all forms. Venus and her workings come in all forms. Again, not just physical things, like when I talk about the glassware or a piece of music or things like that. It can come through words, but a way to sift through it with the speed that Gemini is offering through Venus is does it amaze you? Does it make you go and you stop for a minute? That is a gift, especially at this time on this planet right now. That's a gift. And again, it can be words uttered by somebody in a conversation, and it's just an offhanded comment, and it makes you just go, wow. And it's like you're changed as a result of it, because that is the level of craftsmanship. My son with what he said, Simon Pierce with the glass blowing, John Denver with Annie's song. I mean, this brilliance, this beauty, this fine craftsmanship comes through all of us. And it's really actually pretty black and white to be able to see it. And that's the gift of what Venus in Gemini is offering you right now. That's where this albatross is pointing me. You in particular are being affected by this. Again, in order for the albatross, that grace that's being offered, that stamina, that capability, that empowerment, that ability to focus and have a life-changing moment in time, you have to first get the albatross to your hand. And this energy of this beauty, of seeing what amazes you and taking the moment to actually see it. And guess what? You're probably not going to see it watching the nth number of news programs about the virus. You're probably not going to see it there. Maybe. But these are things in your own life. That's why I'm trying to point you back to you. Put that aside. That is what it is. It's happening now. It's already manifested. Like, we don't need to put our energy there. This is about you. The albatross wants to come to your hand and change your world, to give you a memorable moment that literally just is something so life-changing. But it's where you put your focus. The albatross won't come. You won't have that moment if you don't tend to where your energy is being directed. And by that I mean your attention. And to let life amaze you. It's all right there. But are we focused on it? And these are like really, they cause you to catch your breath. They cause you to like say, wow, I kind of knew that about my son, but wow, he just showed me a whole other layer that I'm just amazed by. I'm amazed by it, you know, in a very good, beautiful kind of a way. And just, boy, all I got to say to you for that card is keep your eyes open, because Venus, even going in a retrograde motion in, you know, Gemini, ruled by the fastest planet among them all, Mercury. I mean, it's going to be wah, 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 wah. I think that's always the case, but this is like sped up. So you got to have your eyes open, and you got to be looking at other stuff than maybe where you have been. Okay? So there we go, everybody. I hope that the albatross easily comes to your hand to feed, because it's coming for all of us, and it wants to amaze us with its 12-foot wingspan. Bye-bye for now.